Hello friends, Tom Downey here, taking a look at the preseason profile for the New York Giants. And we start things off with New York's key additions this year. Yeah, they brought in Jonathan Stewart, but the two big name additions were Alec Ogletree at linebacker and Nate Solder, two massive positions of need for the Giants in terms of free agency moves. But of course the big one, well, Saquon Barkley is now in town as the Giants starting halfback. He's going to be a stud for them almost instantly. He's going to be fun to watch and a high draft pick in fantasy drafts as well. As for the losses, a couple notable players. JPP is gone, as are two offensive linemen that were key starters when healthy. Of course, they did have injury problems throughout their tenure with the Giants. Overall, I give it a B. There's really two ways to look at this offseason for the Giants. If you're looking for only trying to win right now, it's actually probably an A. Because Barkley and the offensive line addition with Solder and Alec Ogletree and some other players, they're trying to win right now. My fear, and this is why it's not an A for me for the Giants, what happens in 3 years when Eli Manning is done? I don't think Kyle Lauletta or Davis Webb are the answer. The Giants passed on franchise quarterbacks, so while in the interim, they're going to be a much, much better team than what they were last year. I do worry a little bit about their long-term outlook at quarterback when they did pass on franchise guys like Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, and maybe Lamar Jackson if you want to throw him in the mix as well. I'm not a big fan of Josh Allen though. As for the preseason schedule, not too bad for the Giants. Of course, it is the preseason. Browns, Lions, Jets, and Patriots. The end result doesn't really matter. It's all about how you grow as a team and as a player throughout the preseason. We'll focus on the Jets game. That's the dress rehearsal. It's a road game for the Giants. Of course, we'll put road in quotation marks there. Big questions for me. Who starts on this new-look Giants offensive line that we'll dive into more here in a second? And it's a new 3-4 defense under new coordinator James Bettcher. How does it look for the Giants, and how effective is it as the team changes schemes this year? We'll move down to some training camp storylines. The big one, at least for me, what's going to happen with Odell Beckham, because I think there's some genuine uncertainty about this situation. Now, OBJ, rightfully so, wants a big, fat contract from the Giants. He wants something along the lines of $20 million, which is probably too much, but you always ask for more and then settle for less, right? Now, he has said he'll report to training camp, and the Giants think he'll report to training camp as well. At least they've said so publicly. But there have been the reports from various New York media organizations that say, you know what, that's not a lock. He might hold out to get that contract. So my question is that just New York media being New York media, or is there enough smoke to this fire that maybe, just maybe, OBJ could hold out? On one hand, I kind of get it. If he's trying to get $20 million a year, it makes a lot more sense to not risk any injury in training camp and hurt himself for a long-term growth investment. But for the Giants' perspective, they kind of want to see him healthy before they pay him all that money. So that's potentially where you could sit with training camp. Of course, we'll monitor that story closely. Either way, Beckham will be there for week 1 for the Giants. He's going to play. He's a competitor. I think he's going to be a damn good receiver once again this year. But let me know in the comments section if OBJ is worth $20 million or not. Some more storylines then. How will the defense look like? How good is it going to be? This is a revamped defense. One thing I love the Giants finally did, they got some damn linebacker help. The defensive line also looks really stacked, and we'll start with them here. Dalvin Tomlinson, Damon Harrison, and B.J. Hill. That's a pretty strong front three for a 3-4 defense. Some flexibility up there as well. I like Josh Morrow as a backup. Kerry Wynn can play as well. R.J. McIntosh. It's maybe not the sexiest name or group of players there. They're not going to get 10 sacks each, but I think they'll do a very good job of stopping the run, and that's the key in a 3-4 front. As for the linebackers, a little bit more uncertainty. I like the two guys on the left there. Vernon and Ogletree, those are reliable starters. B.J. Goodson, not so sure of, but I guess he's the number 2 backer in a 3-4 scheme. That'll be okay. Kareem Martin has good positional flex and knowledge of the scheme, and he could be pushed very quickly by Lorenzo Carter. But the depth overall, I am a little bit concerned about for New York. Maybe the biggest on-field question, though, beyond Odell Beckham's health status, is the offensive line, namely, who actually starts for the Giants. I feel pretty good about the left side. Nate Solder, Will Hernandez. Those are going to be your guys, and they're going to be really good, even if Nate Solder is overpaid. But the right side is the question marks. We know that Eric Flowers has not been good for the Giants, let's just put it that way. And then the battle at guard and center. John Jerry could be at right guard, Greco, and then Patrick Omea as well are all other options. And then at center is maybe the biggest positional battle. Jones was the starter to end last year after Richburg got hurt, but it was Halippo who's come in and been the starter earlier in the year in OTAs and minicamp. So that's the big storyline to monitor up front on offense. As for the Giants and where they sit with their regular season plan, look, the NFC, as we'll kind of harp on this NFC East teams, it's tough. Jaguars, Cowboys, Texans, Saints, Panthers, Eagles, Falcons. Ouch. What a brutal start to your games. Those are legitimately 7 potential or at least borderline playoff teams. The Giants could start the year 0-7. I don't think that they will, but they could start the year 0-7 and still be actually a pretty good football team. The rest of the year, it does get a little bit easier. Redskins, a tough game against the Niners, but that is after a bye week game. The Bucks, Eagles, Bears, Redskins, Titans, Colts again there. So it's a tough spot for the Giants. I think the key for them is how they play in the NFC East matchups. Now, I have put the Giants here as my third place team in the NFC East. Could they catch the Cowboys? Sure, but I don't know if it's all that likely. I do think that they'll beat the Redskins, though. You see their odds up there for Super Bowl 53 plus 3,300. Not great odds, kind of middle of the pack there. Overall, this will be a better Giants team than what we saw last year. They're not going to be 3-13 again. They got too many talented skill guys on offense. They'll look a lot better on that side of the ball. And frankly, Pat Shurmur, a big upgrade over Ben McAdoo from last year. So I want to know from you guys, folks, where will the Giants finish in the NFC East? Let me know in the comments section, and follow us on Facebook here, facebook.com/chatsports for more NFL and Giants coverage all season long.